Welcome to our first sneak peek of the new Pubnet. We are MVB US. Uh, I'm Joseph Bopp, and I've been working with Pubnet for about 15 of its 30-year history. And this is the single largest amount of work we've ever done on the system. It's a complete rewrite from the ground up on all new hardware and software, and it's an amazing improvement. I think you'll all be very pleased to learn about it, and I thank you for joining us today. So who is MVB? MVB is actually the largest provider of publishing industry services in the German language market. They publish the industry trade magazine. It's like Publishers Weekly. They provide a lot of software services to the whole German market. And they've decided to expand their scope, and we are their first. We are one of their first steps into a global marketplace. MVB actually stands for Marketing und Verlagsservice des Buchhandels GmbH, which is basically marketing and services to the bookstores or the book handlers in the German marketplace. It's been around since 1947. They have a variety of products and are the German ISBN agency. They do report directly to the German Booksellers Association, and these are some of their products, some of our products. They provide a books and print service in Germany, and they are the ISBN agency. They have an electronic ordering system similar to Pubnet. They have a catalog service called VLB Tix, which has some nice cover images, and we're looking eventually to adopt some of this technology for our own services. And they are books and print in the Brazilian market now. So Pubnet and Pubezi, I'm sure you're familiar with. Pubnet is what we're discussing today. We're an EDI community in North America. We have over 4,500 publishers in their imprints, and I'm sure you're all users of our service. Pubezi is a web-based marketing and ordering service. We actually service global retailers with Pubezi, and using all of their if you count all of their imprints and everything, we provide access to over 3,500 publishers. So, as I mentioned, we are redoing Pubnet from the ground up. We have all new hardware, all new software. You're going to see, I'm sure most of you that have logged into Pubnet in the last 30 years have noticed that the UI is very clunky and antique, but the new one is nice and sleek. And I've got some screenshots coming up to show you. We have a whole list of improvements that are coming in the future. Our initial phase is just going to reproduce all of the functionality that you are currently used to with Pubnet, but we do have big improvements on the horizon. Our goal here is to make this as seamless a transition for you, the users, as possible. So although we encourage you to test, and we think it's in your best interest to test with us on the new system, it should not theoretically be required. We do have a lot of active testers right now. We're ironing out the last little bugs, and we are adopting some new high security standards. At launch day, we're going to offer FTPS connections, and then soon after that, we will be offering SFTP connections, so secure FTP connections, which will probably come around the beginning of next year. We also are no longer going to be storing your passwords where tech support can view them. You'll have the ability to change your password at any time, and they will be encrypted, and we won't even be able to tell you what they are. So you'll be able to change those at any time. And in the past, the dual login has been a real hurdle for a lot of users and their programmers who are trying to log into Pubnet. In the new system, we've completely removed that hurdle. We still do support the double login, but it's no longer required. So if you already have succeeded in scripting it, that's terrific. You'll still be able to use that same script. But if it's been a problem for you in the past, you can just avoid it and use a single login now. At this point, I do want to mention that the new Pubnet system is going to completely replace the old system by the end of this year. Until December 14th, both systems are going to be running in parallel, and it's not going to matter. So even if your partner is still on the old system and has not migrated to the new system, Pubnet is going to take care of that data transfer for you, and it will be invisible to you. But after that, all users will exist only on the new platform, and the old platform will be removed from service. So let's take a look at the new interface, because this is where things start to get good for everybody. This is what the new pubnet.org page is going to look like, and it's going to hold all of our informational kind of stuff. You're going to see what Pubnet is, where are the specs, and who are the trading partners, that sort of thing. At the top right here, I'm going to point it out. Right now the button says log out, because when I took this screenshot I was logged in. But it will say log in, and that's where you would log in for both the DCTS replacement and the POW replacement. So right now we're going to focus on the tracking tool, which is the replacement for POW. In the old system, we had DCTS, which was hard to say and hard to use, and nobody liked it. And, it's just a clunky tool, but tracking is much slicker and nicer. When you log in and you enter the tracking tool, you're going to see that there's a search form, and you can filter on a lot of different options here. The direction filter is for tracking data either from you, so data that you are sending, or you can have it track data that you are receiving. You can specify which document type, if you're searching only for purchase orders or only for ship notices or invoices, for instance. You can look specifically for documents of a particular status. So if you only want to see the documents you have not previously retrieved, this is where you would do that. If you happen to know the purchase order number or the ISA control number, you could specify those for a very narrow search and really pick out just the single document you're looking for. You can specify that you only want to see traffic from one partner. And down here, you can specify either a specific calendar date range, or you can search on a relative date. So you can just say to it, give me all the data from the last 5 days, or the last week, or last month. And you will get search results. So in the new search results, all of these columns are sortable, which is nice. You can display up to 100 search results at a time. The search results form in the new tracking tool has a lot of functionality that the old DCTS did not. So I'm going to explain what each of these little icons does over here and over there. So here it lets you export all of your search results into a nice Excel spreadsheet, and then you can download that and use it however you like. The second icon allows you to make selections out of the search results and then download the raw data of those documents. This is a big advance from the previous version where you would have to copy and paste the text of the raw data and paste it into an editor. So now you can do a direct download of the raw data, and you can do this for several documents or as many as 100 documents at a time. This third icon allows you to view the raw data, but this will display it on the screen. Again, for all the documents that you select out of your search results using the checkboxes, you can view the raw data on the screen. And before that was, I think, a 3-click process. Now it's just select the documents and click the icon, and it will be displayed for you. The little eyeball, it's a little hard to see in the screenshot, but that's an eye. For any documents that you select, you will be able to view them in a nice human-readable, not machine code format, and we're going to see what that looks like in the next slide. So this, if we'd selected a document out of the search results and click that eye, this gives you all the relevant information. So you have your PO number and the type of document you're looking at, the sender and the receiver, when it was sent and when it was retrieved, if it was retrieved. This is the control number, and this is the ship to SAN. and then it lists all the line items. You still do retain the functionality to view the raw data from here or download the raw data from here or go back to the search results. And then these two buttons allow you, if you have selected multiple documents, to page from one to the next, and so on, until you reach the end of the selected documents. This is my favorite function, the redeliver function. In the past, if you got a corrupted file in your download, or if you downloaded a file and accidentally copied over it or deleted it or whatever, you would have to call tech support and wait for one of us to be available to assist you. Now you can do this directly yourself through the tracking tool with this little icon. If you select a document from your search results and you click the redeliver icon, the document will automatically be taken out of the database and passed through the system again, and it will be delivered to your mailbox. Now, some users do use an FTP push, in which case it will be again written out to your FTP server, but otherwise it will be available for you to retrieve again with no waiting time for tech support. And you can also access the redeliver functionality from the human readable screen. So Order Manager is what we're calling the replacement for the POW or web interface to Pubnet. In the old version, you would not have access to POW if you were an FTP or dial-up user. We are no longer supporting dial-up in the new version, but any dial-up user will be able to have access through the Order Manager, and all POW users will be converted to Order Manager users. In addition to that, if you are currently an FTP user and you did want to send or receive just a one-off document or just grab a copy of something quickly, you would be able to use Order Manager as well. This is what Order Manager looks like when you are a retailer. You would have your inbox and your sent box. You would have a function to create order, and you can create a shopping cart like option, which we call a bin. The most important function, of course, is creating a purchase order when you're a retailer, and you would do it with this form. And the form is really nice because it marks each of the required fields, and it puts a check in the boxes when they are filled in. If you do miss one and you try to submit the purchase order, the missed field will be marked in red and highlighted just so you can spot it easily where the mistake is made. Happens to me all the time, sending test documents. On the vendor side, you have similar options, but it's mainly the inbox and the outbox. As a vendor, you would not be creating purchase orders. You would be responding to purchase orders which are sent to you. In your inbox, you would have a list of the purchase orders, and you'll notice these are just tests. So test mailbox 2 sent this purchase order to test mailbox 1. And you would use these plus icons to create your response documents. If you look over here at the right, you can see that there's a plus A, which would allow you to send a purchase order acknowledgement, a plus S, which allows you to send a shipping notice, and the plus I is to send an invoice. Up here, you only have a plus S and a plus I, but that is because the ship notice and the invoice allow you to respond to multiple purchase orders at the same time. So you would select multiple purchase orders and then click plus S if you're shipping the product for several purchase orders at the same time. All right, so that's my brief demo. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We are in our closed migration at the moment. We're just starting with the few that have completed their testing and want to move over to the new system. We still have room for people who would like to do their testing. Please feel free to contact me and request the form to join us for testing. And I look forward to hearing from you all and seeing you all on the new system.